So what is it like to commute on a CB1000R, specifically a 2023 CB1000R? So apparently my CB1000R video that I made, like is it why did I buy this bike, or my walk around video, it's like a popular video on my channel for some reason. And I get it, you know, like the Hornet is out and I guess people are like, you know, searching for CB1000R videos. But I also made a XSR 900 video and I say, you know, that's kind of like my forever bike. What about this bike? You know, what is it like to be, you know, commuting on this bike, and pretty much, you know, if you ever bought this bike to be like a daily bike. But before I get into it, I want to preface this video by saying that, you know, my commute is going to be totally different from your commute. Right now I'm like riding on a back road. That's part of my commute, and then I'm going to hop onto a freeway with traffic, and that's also part of my commute. So, you know, your commute could be different. You could be just going straight highway the whole way through, and you know, my opinions are going to be totally different from your opinions. Also, another thing I want to bring up is that, you know, this is a 1000cc sport naked bike. I know it's totally ridiculous to be using this as a daily commuter, but, you know, take it for what it is. You know, if you're that kind of person, then that's fine. But I know there's other bikes out there that will do the job much better, much cheaper, and, you know, you probably save much more money. Don't mind the the notes that I have on my phone right now, but, you know, I just wrote this like a right when I woke up. I just wrote this on my my notepad. So what is great about commuting on a CB1000R? And I mean, the most greatest thing is that, you know, the power. You know, there's a lot of power in this bike. This is like, what, only 143 horsepower, and I know there's sport naked bikes out there that have much more power, much more horsepower. But honestly, this is good enough. You know, there is torque everywhere. You can do this. You can do a commute in like first or second gear the whole ride through, and you'll be totally fine. But of course, you know, you don't ride like a 1000cc motorcycle like that. But it's just fun. You know, you have a lot of power. You're like faster than 99% of whatever cars is on the road. You can get yourself out of situations, and overall, you know, the engine is great. It's a really good inline four engine, smooth, and you can pretty much tackle anything, well, mostly anything except for off-roading, of course. The other thing that's pretty good about this bike, and I've noticed it with riding other bikes, is that even though this is like a 1000cc bike, it doesn't get hot. It does sometimes, like if you're going much slower than you think you'd go, but it's not as bad. For example, like I borrowed a friend's R6. Now that's a 600cc bike, and that thing got really hot if you're not moving. Unless you're going at these kind of speeds, you know, with that R6, it was pretty horrible to ride. You're like in a hunch over position. You're going slow, and I know like 600cc sport bikes are not supposed to ride it that way, but that thing, even though you're going like 30 miles per hour on a regular road, it gets really hot. Another great thing about this bike for commuting is that this bike, it takes 87 octane. Quite honestly, coming from Yamaha, like Yamaha engines and other bikes, you had to put 93 and above in those bikes, or else you'll have that knocking issue. For some reason, this is a sports naked engine from a CB1000R, like just detuned for street, and it takes 87 octane, and I'm like, what? You know, I mean, I had bikes that were like Kawasaki's. Like I'd say like my Kawasaki 650 and my 250, they also took 87. But I also had like a WR250R, like dual sport, and that had to take 93, and that's a 250cc engines. There is this gas station near my workplace, like for military, right? So military, they get discounted gas prices, and for some reason it only serves 87 octane, so I can't really bring my XSR there because it takes 93 while this takes 87. Of course, you know, this bike is you know, it's more of a bonus, you know, it's more of a vanity thing, but this bike looks good. I parked this bike literally in front of my office window, so I can see it all the time, and I notice people just staring at it every time they walk by, so people will just talk to you about it. You create conversations and whatnot, so you know, it's not really that's not really a benefit, but it's more like a bonus, you know. Now, for the bad things about this bike for commuting is that honestly the mileage isn't really that great. You know, I get like this. I have it right here. The consumption is like 38.5 miles per gallon, which honestly, you know, compared to like a car or like say my Toyota Tacoma gets like about an average 22 miles per gallon, which is you know, not the best. And this one gets 38, so you know vastly better improvement. Because of that, you're gonna be kind of feeling a lot more because of the capacity of the tank. I'm not quite sure what the capacity is. I think it's about what, around 4 gallons, or I think it's around 4 gallons or 3.8 or something along those lines. I'll put it on the screen. I usually fill up this bike when it hits up around 120 miles. You know, like it gets already to 1 bar around the 120 mile mark. If you have a long commute, like say you commute for miles, like 50 miles round trip, then yeah, you're going to be filling up this thing like more than twice a week if you work a full 5-day schedule. The gas mileage isn't the best. There's other bikes out there that will definitely get the job done. You get the more smaller CC bikes, you know, like the twin cylinders, even single cylinder bikes, much better for commuting as far as like if you want to save some money on gas. Now, I think this bike is pretty nimble for the size it is, but it is a pretty heavy bike. I think over 400 something pounds. It's pretty heavy, but you know, not as bad as other liter bikes. Still, you know, you probably get better, much better nimbleness, if that's a word, if you have like a smaller CC bike, like I don't know, a 300 or 400. Especially better, like, you know, if you are able to lane split or filter, you know, like this. I mean, you know, I have lane splitter mirrors on here, so I could probably lane split this thing right here. But you know, you'll probably do better and have a much easier time with a smaller CC or a smaller weighted bike. So like right now I'm like riding really slow because yeah, that's how it is. It looks like there's an accident up ahead, but yeah, this is like what my commute is like. So you know, it's not too bad commuting in, you know, this speed. I'm like going like 23 miles per hour. I don't feel like it's like, you know, like bogging down. The engine feels all right. I know, like it says instant what do you call it, instant consumption of gas. There's like a little meter there. Right now it's like saying I'm in the second gear, 26.6 miles per gallon, which is pretty horrible. But you know, I mean, to be honest, I don't know how accurate these meters or these stats are, but you know, for the most part it is pretty accurate, or not exactly. I mean, it gives you a good idea of how much gas you're spending. All right, now time to shoulder surf. Well, not really, but yes, really. This is like a straight shot to the exit, so I'm just gonna stay in this lane and just kind of cruise it. The last thing I wanted to kind of comment about, you know, commuting on this thing is that you know, not even really commuting, even just joyriding in this on this CB1000R, is that for males, for guys. Okay, so this is a little bit TMI, but I guess because of the vibrations on this bike, it kind of puts the nether regions to sleep per se. Like right after like I finish riding, I get off the bike, it's a bit numb down there, and I don't know if it's because of my riding position, you know, whatnot. You know, I have short arms, so I tend to scoot up to the front of the seat a little bit. I don't know, maybe the tank is like doing something to my torso area, and it's just making that area down there a little bit numb and fall asleep. But yeah, so far, like my commute right now is actually pretty good. Right now there's no school for students or university, and traffic is, you know, other than back there where there was a merge, it dipped down to 25 miles per hour, but now I'm like going at a steady like 50-ish miles per hour, which is, you know, it's really good. You know, I'm not suffering or anything. You can definitely commute on a CB1000R. It's just those caveats of the gas mileage and, you know, just being really overkill motorcycle for commuting. Okay, so I'm gonna be reaching my exit soon, and I gotta switch my camera to over here because I'm gonna be entering a military base, and I think they don't really like GoPros on the helmet. So yeah, I'm gonna end the motovlog here, if you found this video helpful, is entertaining or whatever, please give a like, subscribe, and hope to be making more vlogging and motovlogging content. So check out whatever video that pops up on the screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. Little bonus, I gotta get a thumbnail shot. So, of course, near my workplace, there's this cool ass airplane, and I need a thumbnail shot. Alright, let's go to portrait mode and take a few shots of this. Alright, that is it. I'm gonna use one of these. Alright, that is it. Thanks for watching. That was just a little bonus. And I'll catch you on the next one.